Welcome, listeners. These are the stories of those who wandered too far or stayed out too late. Lock your doors and keep your flashlight close. Let's get started. The forest calls you home. My grandfather disappeared in these woods 30 years ago. One day he left for a routine hunting trip in the dense forests of northern Ontario and never came back. No distress call, no blood, no body, just an empty campsite, an abandoned thermos, and a strange ring of burned grass where his tent had been. Growing up, my mother rarely spoke of him, but when she did, it always came with a heavy look in her eyes, like she knew more than she let on. When I was old enough, I decided to retrace his steps. I wanted closure, maybe even answers. I packed lightly, just a tent, some food, a flashlight, and an old map of the area marked with my grandfather's last known location. The drive took hours, the hike even longer. The woods were vast and ancient, heavy with a silence that settled in your bones. The first day was uneventful, just the usual crackling underbrush, the distant hoot of an owl, and the scent of pine thick in the air. But on the second night, everything changed. I was drifting off to sleep when I heard his voice. Maya. Faint, software, whispering from just beyond the edge of my campsite. I shot upright, heart thudding. At first, I thought it was a dream, a hallucination, but then I heard it again. Maya, help me. It was him, my grandfather's voice, unmistakable, the same low timbre, the same cadence he used when he used to tell bedtime stories. Only now it sounded wrong, like something was mimicking it. I grabbed my flashlight and shined it into the trees. Nothing, no wind, no animals, just stillness. I should have stayed put, but I didn't. The next night, the voice returned, closer this time. It called my name again and again, always from a new direction, leading me deeper into the woods. I followed it. I don't know why. Something in it pulled at me, like nostalgia, like family. That's when I saw the others, dozens of shadowy figures standing still between the trees. They didn't move, didn't speak, just watched. My flashlight flickered, and for a brief second, I could see faces in those shadows. Familiar faces, my grandfather, my childhood best friend who died in a car crash, an old teacher, people I'd lost. Each figure whispered something personal, something they shouldn't know. A birthday memory, a lullaby, a secret. It wasn't just my grandfather, they were all there, and they all wanted me to come closer. One of them stepped forward. It looked like my grandfather, but his eyes were pitch black, bottomless. A mouth opened, but it didn't move. The voice came from behind me instead. "Come home, Maya. We've been waiting." I ran. I didn't stop. Branches tore at my clothes. Roots tried to trip me, but I didn't look back. The voice followed me for miles. "Come back. We miss you." I made it out of the woods by morning, exhausted, shaking, half mad. I never went back, but sometimes when I lie in bed, I still hear him whisper my name from the dark corners of the room. And when I dream, I see the shadows, waiting. Echoing woods. It was supposed to be a simple weekend hike, just me and my daughter Emma, taking a break from the city, from work, from life. She was 12, full of questions, full of energy, and had begged for months to go on a real camping trip. So I picked a quiet trail I used to visit as a teen, way out in the backcountry, the kind of place where phone signals die and the trees stretch high enough to block out the sun. We reached the site by late afternoon, just a small clearing surrounded by towering pines. I set up the tent while Emma collected sticks, laughing as she tried to sneak up on squirrels. It felt peaceful, simple, like the world had slowed down just for us. That night, as we sat around the fire roasting marshmallows, we heard something, a faint rustling in the trees. I looked up, but there was nothing, no wind, no animals. Then we heard it again. Emma. It was soft, almost too soft to notice, but I heard it. She did too. Her eyes snapped up to mine, wide and uncertain. "Did you hear that?" she asked. I nodded, rising slowly, shining my flashlight into the trees. "Probably just another camper messing around," I lied. But there weren't supposed to be other campers for miles. We crawled into the tent and zipped it shut tight. Emma fell asleep eventually, curled up next to me, but I stayed awake, listening, waiting. Around 2 a.m. I heard it again. "Emma, come here." This time it came from just outside the tent. My blood ran cold. I clamped a hand over Emma's mouth before she could respond, and she looked up at me in terrified silence. The voice sounded exactly like mine. "Emma, it's Daddy, come on out." But I was right there. She shook her head, eyes brimming with tears. I didn't move. I didn't speak. We just listened as my voice circled the tent, repeating her name, asking her to come out. Then it changed. A different voice. Her voice. "Daddy, help me." It was identical to Emma's. Tone, pitch, everything, but she was still curled beside me, shaking. "Daddy, I'm lost. It's dark. Please help." It was like the woods were echoing us, using our voices against us. And then something brushed the tent. A shadow passed by the outer wall, another, then another. I dared not unzip it, not even an inch. I just held Emma close and whispered, "Don't listen. No matter what they say, don't answer." By dawn, it stopped. We waited until the sun was fully up before stepping outside. Nothing looked different. Same trees, same trail, same sky. But something felt off, like the forest was holding its breath. We packed quickly. As we walked back toward the trailhead, Emma tugged on my sleeve. "Daddy, why are you walking ahead of me?" I froze. I turned around. She was right behind me, but behind her, further down the trail, was another me. Same clothes, same backpack, same face, staring, smiling. It vanished the second I blinked. We didn't run. We bolted, didn't stop until we saw our car. We've never gone back to those woods, but sometimes, late at night, I hear her calling me from the hallway. "Daddy, I'm lost." And even though she's asleep in her bed, I check the locks, because I don't know what followed us home or how long it has been listening. The last picture. I bought the camera at a thrift shop. It was old, heavy, a vintage DSLR model that probably hadn't been used in years. I was drawn to it for some reason. The store clerk smiled when I picked it up. "Belonged to a hiker," she said. "Disappeared a few years ago. Never found." I laughed nervously, assuming she was joking, but her face stayed serious. "Still works though, just needs a memory card." I bought it anyway. Something about it felt personal, like it wanted to be held again. The first few pictures I took were nothing special. Sunsets, trees, a crow perched on a lamppost. The images came out clear, crisp, even kind of beautiful. But then I started noticing something else in the photos. Things I hadn't seen when I took them. At first I thought it was dust or lens flare, but it kept happening. In every image, in the corners between the trees, small, dark shapes, vague silhouettes, humanoid but blurred, shadow-like, and they were getting closer. I decided to test it. I went out to the forest, a remote trail off the beaten path. One of those places where phone signals vanish and all you hear is your own breath. I hiked deep into the woods, set up camp, and started taking pictures at random in all directions. Click, trees, click, empty path, click, my tent in the distance. When I reviewed them, they were there. Every time, shadow figures lurking behind trees, peeking from behind rocks, closer than before. One stood directly behind my tent. That night, I didn't sleep much. Every time I closed my eyes, I felt like something was watching, just beyond the fabric of my tent. The forest was dead silent, no wind, no animals, no insects, just stillness. Around 3 a.m., the camera started clicking on its own. No flash, no shutter sound, just silent photos, one after another. I grabbed it, heart pounding, and scrolled through the new shots. My tent, my backpack, my sleeping bag, me sleeping, only I hadn't taken those photos. The last one made me drop the camera. It was a shot of me, awake, eyes wide open, staring into the lens. Only I hadn't been awake yet. I packed up before sunrise, barely able to breathe. I hiked out as fast as I could, not looking back. But the camera came with me. I should have left it there, burned it, smashed it. Instead, I checked the photos one more time when I got home. The last picture was new. It wasn't the forest. It wasn't the tent. It was my bedroom, taken from inside the closet. I haven't slept since. Because now, every time I open my gallery, there's a new photo. Closer, clearer. And last night, the picture was of me, asleep again, but I live alone. Shadow campfire. There's something about the forest at night that changes the way the world feels. Maybe it's the way the trees absorb sound, or how the darkness between the trunks seems thicker than anywhere else, like it's alive, waiting, watching. I'd been camping solo for a few days deep in the northern woods. Just me, my pack, and the quiet. No cell service, no distractions, just the crackle of the fire and the chirping of crickets. It was peaceful at first. On the fourth night, everything shifted. It started small. Just a flicker of light between the trees, low, orange, and pulsing. I figured it was another camper, maybe a latecomer who'd set up nearby without realizing I was close. But the light was off. It didn't dance like fire usually does. It throbbed. Curiosity got the better of me. I doused my own campfire, grabbed my flashlight, and started toward the glow. I walked maybe 10 minutes. No trail, just navigating through undergrowth and dodging tree roots until I saw it. A campfire, or at least something that looked like one. The flames barely moved, even in the breeze. The logs beneath them were untouched. No ash, no burn marks. Just glowing, unreal, like a prop in a haunted house. Around the fire sat 5 figures. They weren't people, at least not fully. They looked like people-shaped shadows, completely black, darker than the darkness around them, absorbing the firelight instead of reflecting it. Their heads were tilted toward the fire, unmoving. I stood behind a tree, frozen, my breath caught in my throat. Then one of them turned. Its head twisted toward me, slowly, deliberately. The others followed, no eyes, no mouths, just blank, black silhouettes facing me in silence. I took a step back, then another, and that's when the fire went out. Not gradually, not like someone put it out with water. It just vanished like someone flipped a switch. For a second, it was pitch black. Then I heard them, not footsteps, rustling, the sound of something gliding over dead leaves through branches from multiple directions at once. I ran. I didn't think. I didn't look. I just sprinted through the woods, cutting myself on branches, stumbling, tripping. I could feel them behind me, close but never touching. They didn't breathe, didn't speak, just followed. I burst back into my campsite, heart racing, and lit my fire again, hands shaking, and there they were, 5 shadows, standing just at the edge of the firelight, watching. I didn't sleep that night. I didn't sleep the next either. They were always there, always 5 of them, never moving, never speaking, just waiting beyond the glow of the flames. When I finally packed up and left, I felt them watching me all the way down the trail. Sometimes, even now, I'll catch a flicker of orange light in the distance when I walk in the woods. And sometimes, I see 5 figures standing around it, still, waiting. And I know, if I ever go near it again, I won't come back. Darkness beneath the cabin. We weren't supposed to find the cabin. The 4 of us, me, my girlfriend Lena, and our friends Jason and Mark, had planned a weekend hiking trip, aiming to unplug and explore some lesser-known trails in the Smoky Mountains. No cell service, no plans. Just a couple of tents, a campfire, and the forest. But somewhere along the way, we got turned around. By the time we realized we were off trail, the sun was slipping behind the trees. We tried doubling back, but every direction looked the same. Panic hadn't set in yet, not fully, but there was this creeping unease in the air, like the woods had shifted behind us. That's when we saw it. Through the trees, half hidden by overgrowth, was an old log cabin. It looked abandoned. The wood was gray and rotting in places, and the front door hung crooked on one hinge. There were no windows, just dark, gaping holes where glass used to be. We should have walked away, but it was getting dark and cold. Jason, ever the pragmatist, said, "It's shelter. For one night, what's the worst that could happen?" We stepped inside. The air in the cabin was heavy, musty, wrong. Cobwebs clung to the beams, and the wooden floor groaned under our weight. But it was the trap door in the corner that made us all stop. It was made of iron, not wood, iron, rusted, bolted into the floor with a heavy ring handle, like something from a medieval dungeon. We stared at it for a long time. None of us wanted to say it out loud, but we all felt the same thing. Something was beneath us, watching. Lena refused to sleep near it. She dragged her sleeping bag to the far wall, muttering prayers under her breath. Mark joked that it probably led to a wine cellar or some old bootlegging tunnel, but no one laughed. That night I woke to a sound, scraping, metal against metal, coming from the trap door. I sat up, heart hammering, and saw Lena wide awake, staring at it across the room. Her eyes were wide, tears silently streaming down her cheeks. Jason and Mark were still asleep. How, I don't know. Then the whispers started, faint, slithering, like voices from a great distance, whispering through cracks in the world. "Let us in. Come closer. You're already below." The trapdoor shuddered. I swear I saw it move. Just a little, like something underneath was pushing upward. Lena screamed. Jason bolted upright. Mark followed. The trapdoor lurched again. We didn't wait to see what came next. We ran. Into the dark woods. No trail, no sense of direction. Just away. By morning we found a ranger station. When we told them about the cabin, the ranger's face went pale. "That land's been off limits for decades," he said quietly. "Cabin burned down in '87. Lightning strike killed the man who lived there. Locals say he was into things." He paused. "There's nothing out there now, just ruins." But we'd been inside. We'd seen the floorboards, the iron trapdoor, and one detail still haunts me. When we escaped that night, we left our bags behind. But weeks later, I got a package in the mail, no return address. Inside was my camera and one photo, taken from the cabin floor, pointing upward. All four of us asleep, and a hand, long, black, and not human, reaching out from beneath the trapdoor. Love horror, ready to confront what waits in the shadows. Like, share, and subscribe, if you dare.